Welcome to this episode of KJN Film Critics. I'm John.
And I'm Nick. Today we'll be looking at two well-known dramatic baseball movies, Field of Dreams and The Rookie.
So Field of Dreams is about an Iowa farmer, Ray Kinsella, who hears a voice in his cornfield telling him, "If you build it, he will come." He interprets this message as an instruction to build a baseball field on his farm. Upon which appears the ghosts of shoeless Joe Jackson and the other 7 Chicago White Sox players who were banned from the game of baseball in 1919 World Series. When the voices continue, Ray seeks out a reclusive author to help him understand the meaning of the voices and the messages and the purpose behind building the field.
When looking at The Rookie, it follows the real-life story of a middle-aged rookie baseball player whose aspirations of being in the majors 12 years ago were derailed by a severe shoulder injury. Jim Morris, the main character, settled down and married his high school sweetheart and gave up on his dream of playing baseball. He becomes the high school baseball coach, and after having numerous surgeries, he eventually learns while playing catch with one of his players that he is still able to bring the heat.
After watching both those movies, I personally like Field of Dreams over The Rookie. What do you think?
I'd have to say that I prefer The Rookie more over Field of Dreams.
Why is that?
I think when looking at The Rookie, it's able to capture the rituals and rhythms of the game of baseball. You're able to see the camaraderie between the players and the coach and the fans and the players. You're able to see the electricity that flows between them. And also what I really enjoyed was the way they casted the role of Jim Morris. They decided to go with Dennis Quaid, who is an average-looking guy. So I think that's something that makes the audience feel more attached because he could be anyone. He's the everyday person that you could relate to. Also, when looking at this, this is something that was based on a book. So when you look at the book and the film, there are things that are similar and there's things that are different between it. So something that's similar between it is during his tryout that he did after the team won the championship, he actually did throw 12 straight pitches at 98 miles per hour. I thought that was very interesting that they showed that into the movie. That was something that was true. Also, in the middle of the movie, during one of the scenes, the team is beaten pretty badly by one of their league's opponents. And after this effort that he did, he talks to the squad and he lectures them about pursuing dreams and chasing what you want to his players. And they kind of turned it around on him and said, wait, if you're lecturing us about this, why aren't you doing the same? Why aren't you pursuing the dreams that you have of becoming a professional baseball player? And I thought that was really meaningful because it's kind of what sparks the plot of the story. The team wants to go and win the championship, and Jim would want to go and be able to be in the majors again. So that was really something that they pulled together to highlight what the story was going to be about.
Why I like the Field of Dreams movie is, being a fictional fairy tale like movie, this movie could have easily fallen victim into that cliche type of film with a cheesy message behind it, but because of good acting, good directing, and the magic of the sport of baseball, the movie becomes more enjoyable than appalling. That's in my opinion. On top of that, I liked how Ray's faith in the voices that he hears in the cornfield kind of correlates to the game of baseball in general. So you have the faith in him pursuing what the voices are telling him to do, and the faith in throwing a pitch in baseball, and having the faith in that pitch to be at the location where the catcher frames it to be. Mm-hmm. Also, the faith in when the bat leaves your shoulder when you start your swing, and that you're going to have faith that that bat is going to connect with the baseball. In terms of characters, what did you think about The Rookie?
I think just breaking down the main character in Jim Morrison himself, he's an average high school science teacher. He grew up in the same town that he's living in now, which kind of brings a home feel sense to the movie, which kind of helps people relate more to it. Something that's also in there is his father, who's a character, was in the Navy, and during this, Jim is a skilled pitcher during his young age. And so during this whole movie, his father, because he's in the military and is very strict, never approved of his dream and thought it was a waste of time. So I think during the whole movie, Jim is trying to win the approval of his father. He keeps, during his young age, he even tries to do this. He tells him about all of his stats that he does, but his father never wants any of it, and he just thinks that it's a waste of time.
For the Field of Dreams movie, I enjoyed how they created the character of Ray Kinsella. So they introduced him to have father-son problems, and their relationship was filled with arguments. And up until his father passed away, they weren't able to resolve those arguments and problems. And during the movie, especially at the beginning, he lacks that sense of purpose in his life, and he doesn't understand the importance of what he's doing in the farm, and you get a sense of he wants to do more. So the whole movie was centered around the fact that Ray needed to find and fulfill his full potential. So looking at the good and bad of each movie, what did you come out with for The Rookie?
When looking at The Rookie, I think something good is the numerous similarities that they have throughout the movie with scenes. So when looking at the pendant of Saint Rita, which is the saint of the impossible, there's multiple scenes where she's involved. It is first seen hanging on the basket with the nuns when they are praying over the land, and also when he's first about to go out into his first major league game, it's hanging over his locker. And whenever there's a scene within his car, you can always see the pendant hanging over his mirror. So I think that's something that's really important, because Jim's story is the story of the impossible. He is an older man trying to play in a younger man's sport, so it's able to portray how difficult what he's trying to do really is. So when looking at the nuns, something else that pops up multiple times is the nuns at the beginning and the nuns at the end. They are throwing rose petals at the beginning of the movie over to the land, trying to pray and bless it to bring good fortune. And at the end, they are walking away. So I think this is kind of hinting at the fact that Jim's story of the impossibility is over. He's able to overcome, he's able to play in the major league. So his dream of the impossible has been accomplished. But there is one thing that I didn't enjoy about the movie, and that's the way that the screenwriters were portraying all military men. When looking at his father's rigid and unemotional, and they're trying to kind of say that that's how all military men are, and I don't really think that that's the case.
What I found good about Field of Dreams is the fact that they use real life examples and characters throughout the movie. For example, we have Terrence Mann, who was meant to represent the author J.D. Salinger, who wrote the book Catcher in the Rye. So I thought that was pretty cool. And Archibald Moonlight Graham, he was based on a player who played in 1905, and he also had one at bat at one game back then. So on top of that, we have shoeless Joe Jackson and the rest of the White Sox, who were banned from the game. And we know about the Black Sox scandal being very true. So it was great how the director was able to implement those real-life examples and stories into the movie Field of Dreams. Although there were good elements of the movie, there were also some bad elements, such as some unclear moments throughout the movie, fallacies and disconnect between Terrence, Ray, and other characters. For example, we have, I question, was Terrence really dead? Because we see towards the end he was able to walk out into the cornfield with the other ghosts. So I was like, was he really dead? I wasn't too sure about that. Another one was, how were some characters able to see the ghost players and how some didn't? So Ray's family were able to see the ghosts. Terrence were able to see the ghosts, but Ray's wife's family, her brother and sisters and stuff, they weren't able to see the ghosts when they were playing out there. Another one was, if Archie was dead, how did he come back to help Ray's daughter? I found that to be pretty confusing. He was playing on the field, and when he stepped back onto the farm property, he was magically seen by everyone who couldn't see him before. So I thought that was pretty confusing. Now, looking at the message of both movies, what do you think the message was for the Rookie?
I think the message that the Rookie wants to portray is that grit and perseverance will eventually pay off in the end, because it is never too late to go after your dreams.
For Field of Dreams, I thought that, well, all throughout the movie, there's a theme of pursuing dreams. In the particular scene of Ray following through with his dream to actually build the baseball field on his farm. So the theme right there is very much prevalent. And with that said, I believe that the message was, it's never too late to go after your dreams and rekindle relationships with loved ones.
Alright, that's all the time we have. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of KJN Film Critics. On next week's episode, we'll be looking at romantic comedies. Stay tuned.